So, the Nintendo Switch 2, it's finally here. Well, it's been out for a while. It's been out for a few months, but I want to give my completely unscripted review of the console very early on, obviously, and not very in-depth because it's scripted. And you can tell it's scripted because I just said it was a few months ago. I don't remember the release date. And I'm not going to look it up because this is unscripted. This is first take. Well, technically second take, but the first take was like 2 seconds. Anyhow, we're talking about the Switch 2. Very first impressions. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a phenomenal upgrade over the regular Switch. Is there anything the original Switch does better than the Switch 2? No. I don't think there's a single thing the Switch 1 does better than the Switch 2. And the only thing the Switch 2 is missing from the Switch 1 is like the little camera thing. I actually have a Switch 1 right here, just in case I need to reference it. On the first Joy-Con, this like little camera, it's not present on like the Joy-Con 2 on the bottom. It's not there. So I don't think I own a single game that actually utilized this. The only one I can think of is 1-2 Switch, but that's about it. Anyhow, let's just talk about the controllers. Now they're kind of just briefing right from the console to that. I think the Joy-Con 2 are significantly better. Especially me, like, for me with tiny hands, I actually don't mind the regular Joy-Con. I know a lot of people just cannot use it. I have no problem with it, but I do gotta say this is a substantial upgrade, mainly because, like, these side buttons on the Switch 1 are just like, it's like crushing ants. And these ones feel like, oh, hey, I'm pressing a real button. So, I don't know, I like it. The analog sticks are significantly better. There's not a whole lot of travel from, like, any direction. I think it's better than the Switch 1, but it still doesn't beat, like, a traditional, like a controller, like the analog stick on here. Like, it doesn't beat that in terms of, like, distance, but it is significantly better, and it is a much bigger upgrade. I can't speak much on the battery life of it. I don't think I've had them die on me yet. I've had them get low, but it's not really to a point where I'm like, it's a problem. It's not like the PS5 controller where I feel like that's just dying way too quickly. They're pretty good, and mainly because, I don't know, they're always on the console, so it's not like they're dying unless you use them like in the grip. But I can use them like in this grip for hours and they don't die. So I'm gonna say they're pretty good. If they can last a whole day without dying, that's a good battery. So, yeah, and then going from that to this one, I think, like, going from the right to the left is pretty much the same thing. The same quality of life adjustments. They didn't really change anything. They didn't add any new buttons. Except for, like, the game chat button, which is funny that there's a physical button on your controller that you need an online subscription to use. The game chat's free right now. I think it's free for the first year, but like, eventually you're gonna have to pay for it. But anyhow, finally with the controller, this grip, I think this grip is phenomenal. Like, you sometimes forget that you're holding a weird plate. Like, it just, between like the grips back here and then just the way it holds, it feels very, very good. And like, even like from the Switch 1 Pro controller to like this, like, once I got the Pro Controller on Switch 1, I, like, never went back to using, like, the Joy-Con and the grip. I would do it, like, once in a while just to be like, oh, this is how I used to play when I first got the Switch, but 99.9% of the time, I was just using the Pro Controller ever since I bought it. But this one, I've been using this more than the Pro Controller. I didn't actually buy a Switch 2 Pro Controller. I didn't really see the need in it, mainly because I wanted to give this one a shot at first, and plus, unlike, like, the PlayStation, you can just use that Pro Controller on any game, Switch 2 game, Switch 1 game, on the Switch 2. So I still have this Pro Controller, so I have no reason to ever buy a 2. I may get one eventually, but I have no reason to go right away. There's no point. Especially because when you talk about pricing, which is another thing I'll quickly pivot into. Pricing on these things. I think the console, and this is for Canadian pricing, so obviously every country's a little different. I think Canadian pricing on the console itself, just the console, I think is fair. I think it could be a smidgen cheaper. I'm talking about like $50 maybe. But other than that, I honestly think it's pretty fair. Now, when it comes to like the game pricing and the accessories and stuff, it's horrendous. You shouldn't have to spend $110 on a video game. Pre-tax. It's it's just not right. I know there's a lot of, world situations going on that are affecting pricing of just a lot of products that are just brought from other countries, but still, $110 for Mario Kart is a little crazy in my opinion. I think some of these games like DK and like Pokemon are a bit better, only being, I think Pokemon is $99, which is $20 over like the regular MSRP for years now, which was $79.99 Canadian. If you're like an American, $80 Canadian, like $80 games here, like $79.99 games here, are equivalent to like $59.99 games in the States. So when I say like full price 80, that's what I'm referring to. I don't really know for the other countries, but if you're American watching it, that's what I mean by full price, $80. So these went up to, I think some of them are 90, some games are 90, some are 100 or just 99. I think the Switch 1 version is 85 or 90, and then this one's 100. And I think DK may only be 90. It could be 100, but not for me, because I was thankful that I bought this at Costco, and for some reason they had a deal selling it like $30 off already. So I'm like, yeah, I don't see this going $30 off for a long time, if ever. So I'm like, that's a steal. Plus, I really wanted to play it anyways, and I held off buying it day one, and I'm glad I did, so I can get it like significantly cheaper. But yeah, I think the pricings are awful. Like the Pro Controller, I think it's like $110. I think one of these alone is like $70. Together, it's like 100 and something. Buying like a dock is like 80 or 100. It's just dumb. It's horrible. The pricing is awful. Buying these components separately is awful. If you need to buy like an extra grip or an extra Joy-Con, just one or the other, or you want to buy a Pro Controller, it's horrible pricing, which retroactively went back to like Switch 1 games, where now games that were $80 are now $85. Why is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now $85 when it released at $80, which it probably released even cheaper in the Wii U? Anyhow, I'm getting off track. I think the pricing's horrible. I think people say all the pricing's bad. I disagree. I think the console is fair. I think it could be a smidgen cheaper, but it's not ridiculously overpriced. But the games and accessories, yeah, they need to be lower. I don't know why. And mainly because Doug Bowser is like, oh, it's variable pricing. We depend on like the quality of the game to dictate, how much we're gonna sell it for. And it's just like, I don't like you. I'm sure you're a fine person, but as like the president of Nintendo America, when you're like, yeah, this is why we're selling stuff like this, it's like, dude, no. What do you mean? What do you mean that you're pricing this like this and this like this because of arbitrary things like Mario Kart World open map? Oh, that's $110. DK, a phenomenal, completely original platformer. That one's only 100. It's just like, what are you getting these pricings from? What is making you decide these pricings? And then like Tears of the Kingdom, like Switch 2 version is like 120. It's just like, why? These are awful. No, that's not good. Not good. But yeah, I think his reason for it was like dumb. And now he's stepping down from Nintendo. So he joins Nintendo, has the best like way in with the last name Bowser, does absolutely nothing original or interesting to like make me be like, hey, this guy's the president, and then just says dumb stuff like that and then leaves. Okay. Like I said, I'm not expecting him to do crazy stuff like Nintendo Directs and stuff like that, like what Reggie did, but it's just like, at least be a character that at least be a person that could be like, yeah, this person likes games. They respect. They know what's going on. But then he's just like, yeah, no, your variable pricing is what we want. It's just like, I don't know. No. Anyhow, that's enough about that. Let's talk about the games themselves, actually. So DK, like I said, you can still see that it's sealed here, but Pokemon I have been playing through ever since it released on Thursday, and this is probably the best Pokemon game that's on Switch, between like Arceus It's either this or Arceus. I'll have to know once like I actually complete this. It probably will end up being this game. I think it does a lot that is better than the other ones. People hate it graphically, and like I said, some of like the windows and stuff, they kind of look horrible and really flat, and it's just like, yeah, this is really bad, but like, you get rid of that and you look at the rest of the game, it's like, man, this looks pretty good. Is it like the best looking game on the Switch? No, but I think it's really good for what it is. DK, once again, I haven't played it, but like visually, phenomenal art style. I wasn't a huge fan of the new DK design. I know it's not new, it's like the old one, but whatever. But I think it works within, you know, the art style that it's going for in that game. I like it a lot. I think he looks better in this game with this game's art style than he does in Mario Kart World, which pivoting to Mario Kart World. I think that game is really good. It probably is the best Mario Kart game gameplay-wise, but it's hard to pass up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, especially with 96 courses at your disposal. But I think the massive amount of characters in World is phenomenal. The costumes are amazing. I think costumes alone are the best things to or had. I know obtaining them is, you know, its own situation, but I think the costume designs that were in Tour were amazing, and I just wanted them seen like on an actual main Mario Kart game, and they are, and they're amazing for it. I know a lot of people don't like unlocking them, but it's not that serious. It's not that hard. I don't mind it. I think it's cool. Same with the characters. I don't like how it's random, but it's like, I don't know. I kind of like it. Is it weird that I still am missing one of the characters after over, I don't know, 40 hours, probably more than that in the game? Yeah, but I could just open up a custom game and use the item and get it really quickly. So it's like, actually getting them, if you just want to focus on getting them, is not even that bad. But through regular gameplay, yeah, it can be pretty bad, seeing as I have over 40 hours, probably way over 40 hours, and I still don't have one of the characters. But everything else I've unlocked. I think carts being one part, like just one component, like it's just the card itself, I think is cool. I like that. I like customization from like 7 and 8. Don't get me wrong, I think it's cool, but I think a lot of things that become usable look terrible. Like the little baby wheels, like I use them on the one card I use, but it's just like I use like the Formula 1, or not the Formula 1, but like the one, I can't even remember the name of it, but like the one generic race car looking car from 8, and then I use the tiny wheels on it, because if I don't use the tiny wheels, it just has horrible drifting, and it just, you can't drive with it. But I want my car to look good, so I sacrifice using really bad looking wheels. Or it's like use a cart that looks terrible in my opinion, but then use better looking wheels. It's that balance of, you gotta make something that like looks good and you can actually play the game. Like, I'd rather it just look good, period, which is why I like 8. Between the tires and like, or not 8, sorry. I like World, because between like the carts and the tires, they're very cohesive. They work together. Like the chopper biker has really big wheels, and it just works with it. And they control good because of it, because they can balance the two together instead of just, yeah, this tire has these stats, and go from there. I think the new flying is better than gliding. I think driving on water is better than going underwater. I'm not a huge fan on like the water, but I think they do it in a way that's interesting with like a lot of waves. You can jump up, and then you bob down and bob back up, and you do another trick. So they do enough to make it interesting. It doesn't feel like Sonic Transformed, where you just kind of like, yeah, I'm driving now. Yep, this is me driving. So I think this is a significant step forward in terms of having the like a traversal between like ground, water, and air. My bundle here came with it. There's a few that just have like the label actually part of the package, and then mine is a little off camera. I don't know if I can bring it. Yeah, it's just like this is just like a sticker. Some intern just threw a sticker on it and then threw a code card in there. Like I said, I'd rather get physical games, but getting the bundle, getting Mario Kart World for effectively $60-$70 instead of $110, I'm fine with it. And plus, it's like, it's the one game I'm fine with being digital, because it's the one game I'm like consistently gonna keep booting up. Like something like Donkey Kong, once I beat it, it's not often I'm just gonna like be like, oh, let me just play a level of Donkey Kong. It's just not the same. But like Mario Kart it's just like, oh, you know, let's play some online matches, let's do whatever, play a Grand Prix or something. That happens all the time. You're constantly going back, kind of like Smash. You just constantly go back, play it for like an hour, maybe, whatever. So having that digital and quick access, I like it. I'm fine with it. Talking about digital and storage, the local storage on the Switch 2, I think is significantly better than the Switch 1. I mean, it's not even like an opinion. It just is. It is better. I think it's 256 gigs, which is very good for the size of typical Switch games. I know, like, there's a lot of Switch games, a lot of those sports games that I kind of consider shovelware. They take up like 30, 40. It's just like, it's basketball. Like, why does it take up so much space? But whatever. I know people like them, so just let them like it. But I don't know. I think 256 is perfect, at least for me as like a physical collector, because 256, it's my random physical games I get. Either they're like super discounted on sale, they're only digital, or it's like Mario Kart Worlds, like here, like it was just bundled in, which I guess would kind of count as like a discount, or it's just like game updates or DLC. So like when this DLC comes out, or this DLC, or any update patches, or just whatever, like they'll fit on there perfectly fine. The Switch 2 or the Switch 1 with a 32 gig was fine early on for me. For anyone else, it was horrible. But you could put a memory, like a micro SD card in there. And I ended up getting a 0.5 terabyte one, and at that point, once I put that in there, I never had to worry about storage again. Between all like screenshots, video clips, update data, downloaded games, I never got close to maxing that out. For like me, because like, you know, usually get these physical. But Switch 2, I can't use that micro SD card anymore, and it makes sense, kind of. I think for putting Switch 2 games on and playing them off like the micro SD card and not like the new Express card, I think is completely reasonable. I think, you know, the games are designed to be with, you know, faster loading in mind. So it could break stuff, and it kind of makes sense. It not working for Switch 1 games is a little kind of like, why can't I run Switch 1 games on the Switch 2 using a micro SD card that already ran the games fine on Switch 1? But it's like, I get it, like a little confusion, like be like, oh, we don't want people putting Switch 1 games and wondering why, you know, like their Switch 2 game doesn't work, or they have the Switch 1 game and they get the update pack or like the upgrade pack, and it's just like, oh, why can I now not play it on my micro SD card? And that kind of makes sense. But the fact that you can't use it for screenshots and video clips is like, why? Like when you transfer from the Switch 1 to Switch 2, you can just you put that micro SD card in there to transfer your screenshots and video clips over. And then the second that's done, it's like, oh, don't take it out. Do not put this in the game. It's just like, it's illegal to put this micro SD card in there. It's illegal, but just transfer it this one time. We'll let you. We'll give you a freebie this time. We'll let you trade it this one time. But in other times, no. So, I don't know. It's weird. Not a big fan of it. But yeah, no, just not a big fan of it. There's no but. I'm just not a fan of it. I think it should work for a minimum the screenshots and video clips. But it being 256 internally does make up for it. We'll have to see how big a lot of these Switch 2 native games actually become. And then also, in addition to just like Switch 1 library and Switch 1 games that'll still release, we'll have to see how it holds out. But I don't think it will hold out. For most people that buy a digital only, it's not going to hold out. You're going to have to buy an Express card. And they aren't very cheap either, just like all the other accessories. I think right now, I think the main Nintendo one is like a 128 or a 256. I can't remember, but it's going for like 85 Canadian dollars right now. It's just like, yeah, I'll hold off. I don't need it. Especially for me, I feel like 256 will be more than enough for me, seeing as I barely got halfway with the 0.5 terabyte one I had. So we'll have to see. If I got to delete like one game once in a while, it's whatever, because I can just re-download it, which is an actual thing to make, because re-downloading stuff is feasible on the Switch 2. The Switch 1, it was like downloading something on the PS3. It took like a year, even just update data. Here, it's significantly faster. Like it works. Like it's weird that I can get like a gigabyte down on a Switch, like a Nintendo console. It doesn't make sense to me. but it's awesome, and I like it. I like that you can just be like, hey, I'm downloading a game on my Nintendo Switch with no issues. This is cool. So I like that. Network capabilities are still more or less the same. When it comes to like the interface on it, you know, just a lot snappier, quicker, makes sense. The Nintendo Switch app actually functions. The eShop actually functions. A lot of other stuff just loads quicker. The only thing I think I'm really forgetting about is the... I don't know, I can talk about GameCube games, they're cool. It's GameCube games. Why do they gotta like be released like this? Can you just put them all on? Like, I don't know. But they work, they function. Yeah, why doesn't YouTube work on the Switch too? Like, what does YouTube have under its sleeve that it's just like, whoa, I'm not running on that piece of shit. Whoa. So it's like, why? I still don't even think it's been fixed, which is like, it's not a deal breaker, but it's just kind of like a why? Why doesn't it work? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So game chat, I did it with a friend. It functions. It functions better than I expected, but not as fluent as Nintendo made it out to be. And that's like with good internet connection, Ethernet, like the works. It functions. And that's like without using like the webcam and stuff. That's only transmitting to like the screen to like a friend and him to me. It functions. It's serviceable, but it costing money, or going to cost money, and it just being serviceable is kind of like, why? And then like talking about like prices for a second, like Switch Online went up. Like I said, its new price is still significantly better than like PlayStation, but like it's still like, why raise the price? You didn't really change much. It's not like, oh, I got importing my online subscription. It's just like, no, you really don't. But that's that. Just kidding, that's not that. The kickstand on this thing, significantly better. You get a lot of angles on it and it actually stays. The Switch 1, you're like, oh, I gotta put this here, and then just like, you get up off the table and the table just wiggles and it goes like, it's like, okay, thank you very much, Nintendo. I think the screen is phenomenal. I keep forgetting that the Switch 1 screen is as small as it is every time I go back to using it. Like, I never really noticed how small the Switch 1 screen actually was until using the Switch 2. Like, the second I used the Switch 2 once, I'm like, whoa. Then I went to the Switch 1 again, I'm like, what the? Why? It's not even that small, to be honest, but it's just like, once you go with like a bigger screen to this one, it's just like, whoa. Like going from like a 3DS and then you go to like a Game Boy Advance, it's like, whoa, this is like tiny. But it's just a natural evolution, and just, you know, it's a bigger screen, so it just makes sense. Going back to the other one, it's like, how did I play on this? But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Plus, I haven't like actually used it in a while. Like, I don't think I've used it once since I got the Switch 2 to like actually like use it. I think it's just been, I just like pick it up once in a while and go like, whoa. But yeah, Switch 2, I like it. I like it a lot. It's not exactly what I wanted to see from a Nintendo, like a next Nintendo console. I would kind of want to see something with more, you know, personality, like the Wii U. Like the menu on that's like, oh baby, that's a good menu. Yeah, 3DS, that's a good menu. And there's like a lot of problems I have with like the Switch 1 still kind of carry over to the Switch 2. When it comes to performance-wise, like playing other games, I think it's significantly better. It's not even I think, it just is better. But like a lot of the other minor gripes I have with the Switch 1 still carry over to here. Like the lack of an activity log. Your friends, like, you can only see like the past like 40 items. It's just like, why? Then there's like an hour, like I don't have to worry about it because I just use like one console. But like if you use like multiple consoles, it like tracks your hours separately and then just displays whatever the newest one is or the highest one. It's just like, why? Like, you did it so well on 3DS. Wii U's okay. Like the Wii U's honestly not even just okay. The Wii U's pretty good, but like the 3DS one was like phenomenal, and you just like, Yeah. Like, I sat here for, what, like 2 hours just talking about the 3DS activity log. Like, it's just that informative. I could talk about it for 2 hours. The Switch is like, hey, you had me as a friend? Yeah, this is what I'm playing. Past 20 games. Yeah, that's it. It's just like, really? Like, I don't know. It's kind of balls. But overall, Switch 2 is a significant upgrade over the Switch 1. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Take care. Bye-bye.